Well, hello there, everybody. Yeah, it is summertime, folks. A lot of country here in the United States, folks. It is, they would say, getting hot. So good to see everyone. Thank you for tuning in and being a part of this fantastic journey. I appreciate it. Speaking favor over us all. Nothing missing, nothing broken. We may not have created this reality, but hey, we can certainly get our 2 cents worth of it. How is everybody as I look at myself? Steiger, you're looking good, dude. So, eating your Wheaties, eh? You got to smile, folks. You know, a good sense of humor is a sign of high intelligence. And if that's true, then, you know, I guess God's a jokester, right? I don't know. Don't read much stuff about him laughing, do you? That's really odd. I mean, you don't read much about these gods, demigods. I mean, tell me the laughing angel. Tell me the laughing demon. You know, no joy. So anyway, so how was y'all's weekend? Hello, everybody in the chat room. Hey, DC, and good to see you. Jargo, Deborah, how are you, my dear? Nina, how you doing? Hey, Gaia, how's Paul? Emperor Rex, what's up? Good to see you, Millie. Hello, Wendy, Mr. Floyd, Linda Espinoza, how you doing, my dear? Joyce, what's up? Good to see you, and Jackie, and let me see if I got everybody else. Rick, what's up, brother? Goddess Amina, good to see you, hon. She says it's always hot down there. What else is just reading some of the comments. Stephen, good to see you. Emperor Rex, I think out there. S. Lee, what's up? Oh, you got to get you to the email. I was working all weekend. Yeah, really working. I mean, this type of stuff that nothing romantic about it. It's just you were working, sweating, but it's all right. It's a good thing. So hot. And I guess if you follow the news over there with Ben, suspicious observers, get ready, boys and girls. Yeah, got a number of coronal mass ejections coming our way. Okay. Yeah. And I don't know if you've seen the sunspot configuration on the moon, on the sun right now. Wow. Serious. I mean, that's it looks nasty. It's the only thing I can say. It's big, it's numerous, it's got beta, delta, gamma intermixing of magnetism and, spouting off, X-class flares. That's all right. This is reality. So, what else? Hello, Stephanie Marie. Good to see you. Blissful afternoon to you. Jackie, I love it. Always nothing missing, nothing broken. Preliminal, good to see you as well. So, yeah. Um, do you know that with human beings, there are only two types of earlobes? Attached, detached. No in betweens. Didn't know that. Going to be talking this week that we talk about the Mandela effect. It's happening right now. And if you look at this with a different set of lenses, you go, so they're creating the Mandela effect that will be felt somewhere down the road. It's felt right now, but it won't be really noticed. And you're going, I mean, folks, yeah, I know this is what they call reality, but wow. And then it looks like, the United States is apparently behind trying to knock off an ex-president. What the hell's up with that? Weird stuff, man. That's all I got to say. It is weird. So, question for this group. Define reality for me, please. Did you notice Biden is 5 inches taller than? Hey, I'm just trying to keep up, what they have on the body double. You know, there's all these back channel conspiracy theories. And so the latest one is the makeup person, right? Puts the makeup on. I mean, listen, this has been the weekend at Bernie's part two for the last 3.5 years. But anyway, so apparently that, every administration has one, television. But for some reason, within this group, not this group, but the group that's in currently occupying that place, um, they have like three. So why would you need so many makeup artists? Don't know. But anyway, so define reality because I got video. In fact, I showed it where, whoever this cat is, was on the green screen talking to reporters, right? On a green screen and reaches his hand out. Oops, wasn't supposed to do that. Yeah. Um, Subjective perception, DC. I like that. Yeah. Reality, as Lee says, pay our taxes. And what is that? Uh, and be good, all shall be fruitful. Preliminary says a very Mandela effect. Yeah, it's here. They're rewriting history, and particularly with Kamala Harris. I mean, we know it. It's happening right now. And this is an interesting effect. So think about this from a command control perspective, right? So word comes in, do such and such. How many of you saw the movie Dark City? Kiefer Sutherland is in it, and there's a number of other good actors. And the whole point of that movie was that Earth had imploded, exploded, and these aliens were able to capture this fragment of Earth, and it just so happened to be apparently something like New York City. And so these aliens were able to capture it. And what they did, it was called the tuning. So not every midnight, but when this tuning took place, they would go out, these aliens would, these angels, fallen angels, who knows, um, and they would alter reality. And then they could go into certain individuals' lives, and by injecting into them memories, that when the turning stopped and the clock started again, reality had morphed into the thoughts that the aliens had injected into them. I mean, one example they had was with a couple that were very poor, living in, the Bronx somewhere, and the tuning started, and they came in, and Kiefer Sutherland goes in, and they completely redress them. They inject these new memories into them, and the new memories are they're fucking rich. And I am not just talking rich. We're talking, the kind of rich that where you have a 20-foot table in order to eat your meals on. So is that what's happening here? I mean, there's a lot at stake here. And then you think about what this machine is doing, whatever this machine is. And then it sends out all its, bots and these artificial intelligent bots. They go in there and then they consume the information that they're wanting to scrub. So that if you didn't know this and you just happened to look a year from now, you would come back and you're saying, but I thought I knew I read something there was, and you may have been right. But guess what? Uh, that doesn't exist. And no matter which search engine you use, because that's the great oracle, that's God. The search engines are God. Think about it. You go to a search engine and you can find out everything that God is thinking because it knows everything. And so if it knows everything, then it can literally reshuffle reality. It will insert into you memories that you never had. But after you're subjected to it, you'll swear to God in your life that this is exactly the way it fucking is, and this is the way it always been. Mm-mm. So the doctor's in the house. How you doing, my friend? Mary wins. Much love. Um, thank you, darling. But think about it. Chetna, good to see you. I have seen the Matrix. Yeah. So define reality. And no matter how you define it, and this is weird because I had this weird freaking dream that something's going to happen to Biden. I'll just put it that way. And it looks like it's an October type of thing. I don't know. There is reality, folks, right now is being written as we talk. But again, it's not our reality. You think about reality in itself. And if you believe that there is a superior being, a superior thought, consciousness, God, whatever you want to call it, then we're not living our reality. We're living its view of reality. And you really wouldn't know unless you expand your mind far enough that where you can grasp the fact that this is not our reality. We're living out something else's view of what we perceive reality is. It's much like I wrote in, I don't know if you, let me get down here, saw what I had wrote in the description, and I just thought we're trapped. It's the only way you can look at this. What we call reality has been told to us. We have been said, well, this is how reality works. And therefore, all of our thoughts, all of our imaginations, everything is predicated on what we have been told in our science, our philosophies, our ideologies. But here's the thing, it's a trap. There's no entrances and there's no exits in our reality. And when you think about it, it's not just us humans who are trapped in this reality. Everything is trapped as well, because outside reality, there's nothing. And we do not exist unless we are in this reality. Even our death has already been framed. All philosophy, religions, politics, ideology, love, hate, war, peace, it doesn't matter. For they only exist in reality. And without reality, it doesn't matter because there is no matter unless it is in reality. I'll put that one on for size. Think about that, though. That is deep. No matter what we think, no matter how we act, no matter what we think we are, or where we are, this isn't us. Oh, we were in it. And if you follow this out, it is a trap. Even death, there's no release because death has been already defined. Now, we'll find out for sure when we get over there. All of us will. And I'll just catch up with my voice, I guess, out there in the universe, going at, almost the speed of light. It's like I'm going to catch up with it and I'm going to go, holy crap, I was right. I mean, because we studied last week in the book of Enoch is that, there's this reality that we have no idea. But that reality is impacted upon us, and We form our perception of reality in this reality, and existence only exists in reality. Without reality, nothing exists. Your thoughts, your perception of who and what you are, your hopes, your fears, we're trapped. Could we even define our own reality if we wanted to, if we were smart enough to? We spend an inordinate amount of time here framing reality, calling those things that be not as though they are. Well, that gets pretty wild when you really think about it then. So did this beings, I don't know, did they exist or not exist? And did they happen to come upon what we call reality? Did they really create reality? Or is reality akin to a plane of existence? If planes exist, different dimensions, we know what the first is, we know what the second, we know what the third, the fourth begins to get a little bit out there. Then you're going into five and above. No one's really ever defined that mathematically to the degree. What does a fifth dimension really entail? It would have to entail something that we don't even know about. It's not in reality. And if they exist, then they're mere extensions of reality. So all the philosophy, all the theology, all the ideology is basically in vain because we can only think limited to reality. I mean, define what non-reality would be. All you in the chat room, Chris, so define for me what non-reality would be. Even death is defined in reality. So death wouldn't exist if it didn't exist in reality. And the thing about it is, it's so structured and so fractured that even the possibility that we could redefine reality, it seems it would just be, again, a mere extension of reality. Chris says illusion. And even illusion is constructed in reality. Stephanie says, I don't think they created reality, and I think that the tablet of destinies were stolen, and a crazed lunatic who has control for now has probably come here to wreak havoc. Well, cool. See, this is why, philosophers get together. We can question these impossible questions. Again, each of us would have a separate perception of what reality is. But even our perceptions of what reality is, as we exist in reality, would be very difficult to be in a non-reality. It seems like for our existence, we have to have a foundation of at least something that would lend itself to reality. I mean, think about what we read about heaven, and we've read a lot of different esoteric descriptions of heaven and the whole hell structure. I mean, they wouldn't exist if they didn't exist in reality. I mean, without reality, heaven, hell, or paradise by the dashboard lights. I mean, doesn't really matter. That's structured within reality. And does that imply then that we're basically beings, energy that was constructed, somehow came into existence by magic or something, and we now only can exist in reality? Now, understand, I'm not saying the reality and not saying a reality. I'm saying reality. Are you digging it? I don't know what those extensions, I don't know what a reality is. I don't know what the reality is. But the only thing I can really grasp and get a hold of is reality. I mean, because without reality, it's all in vain. It doesn't exist. No matter how we slice it and dice it. And I've got the Slice-O-Matic 5000 with the extra, spin. Hello, JD. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Yeah. No choice times. It's the thinking. Expand the point is it's an exercise. You see, humans don't like to be weighed down, most humans, because to this, it's meaningless to them. Their existence is what they are going through. And other than potentially questioning what their death will be, most don't venture out. They try to keep their minds so entertained that and they'll look at you and go, well, what are you talking about? This is reality. But they can't define it. I don't think most humans can. And then it goes that if you follow the narrative, then if reality is the only where existence matters, I mean, without reality, your memories have no meaning. They're meaningless. And as I said, even our deaths, even the afterlife is structured in reality. It's it's like playing a pinball game. You know what I'm saying? Hello, Lori. How are you? Favor be to you. Ignorance seems to be bliss for most. That's actually, there's a guy by the name of R. Wayne Steiger who actually said ignorance is a self-inflicted disease easily cured by knowledge. But all of that exists in reality. And then if we didn't create reality, then that means it would be what? Higher intelligence? That could be easily construed as alien, non-terrestrial. I love it. My wife said when I was talking to her about this last night, she says, this is what gives people headaches. Because you start thinking about it. And so if it's all reality, if everything, our existence is reality, wow, I mean, you got to ask yourself then who came up with this? I mean, was it really a single entity? I mean, it's like there was a time in my Christian mythology that you see, I was convinced that all of us, when you were born, that's when you were created. You had no past. Didn't matter. You came into existence at the moment that that spark took place. Before doesn't exist in you. It doesn't exist in reality. And that you came in to reality. I have no idea where any of us may have, I mean, that's the standard belief system. And so you got one shot here, right? And that's what it says. It's been given unto man to be born, to live, to die, and then to be judged. Wow. That can't happen unless it happens in reality. But the idea that many of us, depending on your birth date, is when you came into existence in reality is actually kind of true. The question is, is there really the Hall of Souls? Is it really, how does that then equate with, what we know on the laws of energy, laws of thermodynamics? So, I'm just hanging out talking, just these thoughts just hit me and, you know, let's see, someone says, Bonnie says, Wayne Dyer, I am that. Okay. This thought takes away my headache. Oh, Scott, appreciate that. Sir Thor, how are you doing? Um, yeah, it's an odd experience. I mean, that the next big leap for all of us is our deaths of this physical body. I mean, that's reality, right? You can't alter reality. It exists in reality. Now, we come along and we say, okay, well, that may be true, but I'm spirit. I have a soul. So that means I'm going to be forever. I'm just in this particular reality. Because the thought that there is nothing after you depart reality, well, that's too frightening for us. I mean, we don't dig that. Not at all. That's why we look for evidence, are there really ghosts? We're going to do a show on that again. So to find a ghost, what is a ghost? Can you define that? Not being a wise guy, I mean, literally, seriously. Can you define what a ghost is? And you're going to see many different interpretations. And then here's my question. If ghosts exist, then that would imply that, we continue to hold some sort of corporeal reflection. Is that reality? You see, if you're on this side and you say, well, no, that's just speculation. No, it's reality. But more importantly, so if that is true, then that would imply there's some other reality, but it's a reality. Okay. Now, my question is very simple. Why are there no, and I mean no, naked ghosts? I'd like to see a naked ghost. Apparently, there's a dress code, some sort of, I don't know, freaking reality. No naked ghost. I mean, even these freaking angels, these gods, they're all wearing something. What's up with that? I wonder if they're just so prudish that, they couldn't handle, staying at, back in the day in a nudist camp. I mean, well, what's up with that? No naked ghost. And why do ghosts walk on floors? Is there gravity over there? Is that reality? Can't figure that one out. And if they're truly this energetic ectoplasm energy, then how do they stay in one spot? It would seem like their matter would be tendency to be carried away into the sky, right? And how does that work? But more importantly, why? Why are there no naked ghosts? And if you happen to have a picture of one, love to see it. because you probably have the only one. There are no naked ghosts, which then would suggest that this reality is that we're stuck in a time loop. As I said last week, when you die, you'll die in your time. You wouldn't be able to exist outside that time. I mean, you certainly wouldn't fit into a 15th century human being, nor would you fit into a 25th century human being. Now, is that reality? See, Mary Wynn says the ghost I've seen float. Yeah, and so how does that work? I mean, I'm just asking. And I mean, seriously, I don't get that. I mean, you know, if you have a great body, all of us in our youth at one time, what, we got to cover it up? I mean, I like fashion, but damn, what are we going to be defined by bell bottoms and, tank tops, hip huggers? I mean, what is that how we going to, appear on the other side? Are we going to have our tie-dyed shirts on? I mean, what happens with that? Uh, See, I love the thought in here. So many great thoughts. And it's ghostly boobies. Hey, you think about it. I mean, you know, a woman's breast, I mean, that's a big deal. It's part of the identification. That's womanhood. That's seem like that would carry over as well, wouldn't it? I mean, and if that's the case, we could extend that thought and you're going, what's up with that? I mean, is it I could go on a tangent of this. No naked ghost. I mean, wow. And is there a difference between if a person is buried in the ground and a person is cremated? Think about that. I mean, do you, if you're buried in the ground, is that the clothes you're going to get when you do whatever that thing happens on the other side? You're going to look down and go, shit, where the hell are my pants? No, but they all got pants. Uh, but Rick, have you ever seen a naked ghost? I've asked this question. I've actually written it in other these ghost shows, and the question is, no one has. No one seems to have an answer either. I mean, I don't know. In Abrahamic religions, many people, if you believe in some of the Christian beliefs, is that you get this robe. Is it terry cloth? I mean, what kind of material is it? Does it get dirty? Is there dirt over into the afterlife? They seem to be wearing sandals. Why sandals? I mean, do we have what? Our Skechers over there? Because I haven't seen, you do see ghosts with bare feet, and you see others with shoes. What's up with that? Do they not have, a ghostly, shoemaker? I don't know. Um, you go, uh, see Ricky boy, uh, but it was all up here, huh? Or you just didn't have the camera in time. I mean, it's just a thought. We don't stop and think about these things, but it's all going to affect us. Yeah. My SLS camera that, it only shows the stick figures, but I'll often wonder, how do we know? How do we know it's a not a male or a female? I've seen many of them, but I'm still going, hmm, can't see no boobies. So what? Do not women exist? No, I've seen, many female ghosts, but I'm just asking a question, I mean, is there really a law over there? I don't know. I could go down a number of paths here, but we'll keep it on the up and up. Keep it clean, right? Um, so heaven is a bunch of hippies, robes, sandals. That's what I'm talking about. They got some of the best freaking hash over there too. I mean, yeah, that should make you high. And you're already high over there. And they got the Grateful Dead going full time and on a full time jam. Uh, Roger says never saw a stripper ghost. That's what I'm talking about. I mean, I don't know. It gets deep in there because then it gets right back to that question. So is that reality? What kind of reality is that? I mean, there's a lot of dead people or dead things on the other side. I mean, anything that's not living defines what you define living. But if it's not living, then it's dead. So is it really the dead realm? And does this, is it, I mean, what? Is there a law proclamation? Thou shalt not be naked. I'm dead. What does it matter? So anyway, just think about that, right? So, moving right on along, Chris says, we don't know, but we do know, kind of. I mean, I think today we live in a reality that is, folks, you can't tell me humans are doing this. That would imply that reality is so easily to manipulate. It would also imply that reality is very constrained and appears to be amongst a very few. And when you see paths, particularly with nations, coming up, we've got one of the most ridiculous presidential bids, races that it defies logic. And this is the best we can come up with. It tells me someone sees something that says all of this doesn't fucking matter. It tells me that there is something that something has seen. Again, is it one? Is it a singularity? Is it pluralistic? Is it a small core group? Is it even us? Because it's very obvious that if you look at it, I'd love to get someone who is really good, and we're going to get Barbara on a couple of weeks, but if you have the ability to give me a view of what you may see the future to be, because I'm seeing something that it doesn't make sense. No longer is logic applied, common sense. So what's happening here? They're manipulating the future. I mean, we all sense it. You can feel it. This is something new. And I've been on this rock for well over 25,000 days, and many of you who are at that mark and above, you know what I'm talking about, particularly. And it's not to say that it's not being sensed by other, but you know, it's just part of the reality. The longer you're here, the more that you've observed. It's not to say that, if you've been here 20,000 days or 15,000 days or 10,000 days, you still could sense it. But I've talked to a few people and it's like, it doesn't make sense because both of these paths are so divergent, but yet they end up in the same place. Now, I like being positive. I even figure that, well, if reality is already defined for my crossing over, well, then if I can call those things that be not as though they are, I think that's a fundamental key. It's one of the major keys to knowledge, to wisdom. That then if I can't control it everywhere, I can control it at least inward, where I'm at. And if truly I am thought that somehow inhabits a thing called consciousness, and somehow this consciousness exists of apparently no matter, seems to exist of a substance, because it's the substance that, again, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So does that imply that there's an absolute reality, but this one may be a minor reality? And is it maybe possible that what we understand here by applying principles that exist in the ether realms, that if we become really good with that here, that this implies a different path for us when we exit here? We exit this reality and enter into reality? Is reality so fluid? I mean, does it coalesce in substance and, you know, thought? And then that gets back to the whole idea, then is reality just merely the representation of thought itself? And then it gets back to the question, if that's true, then whose thought? I mean, truly, none of us in this particular group I know, and others much aligned to the same kind of, vibration, is that none of us would have ever created this, what we got today. We know this is insane, but it seems the insane are the ones pulling all the levers. Actions and deeds. And I mean, it's like we've lost our freaking minds down here. And is this all by design? Is this how it really goes? Is this the process that happens? Do we truly reach to where we've just become, all of us are insane? Wow. Uh, Scotty Waddle says we live in the creator's imagination. And that, I've said that myself and heard it many times. It's that's frightening when you really figure it out. The whole problem with God is that this God that we've been taught, and I'll just say particularly in the West, because it's primarily Abrahamic, monotheistic, patriarchal image of God who's angry, who seeks vengeance, and then that puts the fear of God in you. And then why would you want to be afraid of God? And if God is this perfect love, then why would this God curse? And how can a God that curses ever be trusted? I mean, what's to say he gets pissed off? Apparently, he gets pissed off a lot. And he wipes people out. I mean, what happens to you if God kills you? You ever thought about that? That's a hell of a reality. And this book is written, it says, but yet it says that this God is love. And then you see the insanity of it all. Then we could really get into the other side of that. Entitlement. Isn't that an interesting word, Rick? Yeah. Entitled. Mm, wow. I love it. Hey, AK Morningstar, what's up? The fear in the manuscript in the concordance means to love. So if to be afraid is to love. That, not disagreeing with you. It's just that, so fear is equated with love. I mean, how, you see where I'm coming on that? Uh, yeah, I don't think God is perfect. Hey, Gilbert, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Boy, I tell you what, Gilbert has a fine looking hot rod. I have to show you all some pictures of. Open Minded said he's killed many with the flood. What happened to those people? Yeah. We hear these stories and it's just like, oh, well, that's a damn shame. Sucks to be them. What? I mean, so you managed to save about 6 or 8 people. Is that the story? I'm telling you, this reality is fucked up, man. Any way you look at it. Even this thing of God is really messed up. And I was there one time. I realized that this God killed, murdered, cursed, sent people to hell. Not that he wanted to, he gave you a choice. No, really. If all you have are two choices, then that's a trap. I shouldn't have to even worry about a choice at all. I should be able just to go on my fucking way and just leave me the fuck alone. I'm just saying. But no. Uh, Sir Thor says the Abrahamic deity is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Yeah, it's crazy. And even our perception of reality of what love is has been framed by some other thought. I'm just asking a question for my friend. That's all. I mean, it's the nuts that you see. And I think to myself, if this is the way it is, something's wrong. Something's really wrong. And gets back to that point. So if this is being controlled, manipulated, the future, our future, I think Kamala Harris is on the record saying that she's already won the election. They just have to count the ballots. What? Okay. That's the freaking Mandela effect coming in. I mean, this is the weird stuff. And so humans are the one orchestrating this. I mean, if you really think that that is the case, then holy crap. Then human has a whole different meaning. It clearly would say that they're different kinds of humans. So are we really about to see the shitstorm of all reality? Is this what's happening where you don't need common sense? You don't need, you see this technology god, and that's what it is. The internet is a god. It knows us more than you do. That's a god. Oh, you can tell me it's, existential out there, it's just the internet. Well, listen, it's reality. It's a reality. I mean, the internet is reality. And none of us seem to be able to control it. But yet, if this is the case that it can be, then it really makes you wonder if S4, the looking glass, we covered that. Did someone see? Did they break time? Did they break reality? I mean, no one questions that. I mean, all right, so if reality can be constructed, and ever how that's done, I'm just speculating. Logic would say that if it can be constructed, it can be deconstructed. Did someone break reality? And we're living in this chaotic, upside down, inside out environment now? Are we jumping timelines so quickly that time has been broken? I mean, if reality can be created, then reality can be uncreated. And what would an unreality look like? Would we even know? Would we call that reality and then what we're living in unreality? A broken reality? Because apparently this God doesn't have it quite figured out. I mean, we read last week that he allowed his people to come down and mess with our people. And apparently he ain't smart enough or he isn't all powerful enough where you could just say, oh, let me wipe that out. Couldn't do it. So is it stuck to this reality as well? And then again, what if someone, something broke reality? How would we know? How could we even begin to fathom even the thought of an unreality? We would look at our physical laws and our mathematics, our science, and all the rest of that and say, well, no, this is that it proves that this is reality. But what if it's designed to prove what exactly we expect it to say? Because that way, told you, yeah, this whole talk about an unreality, a broken reality, is just gibberish. It's nonsense. Sure. And, not a problem. We're all free to say it. Hey, Joe Mack, it's my understanding Harris's mother was not a U.S. citizen. That is correct, that she was, mom was in the, yeah, the thing about Harris is that her family, very wealthy family, she's not black. She's Jamaican and Asian, but they were slave owners. That's how she got her education. Oops, they don't want that out. It's just like the story with her and the mayor of San Francisco. I mean, it's like, no, we can't have that. Didn't happen. That didn't happen. You saw it in effect. And what I saw on Friday is when I was writing my notes because I'm reading and I'm watching this. Particularly, I'm watching with the Cabbage Patch Kid, the press secretary in the White House. But as she was talking, I'm listening and I'm going, this is the Mandela effect. That didn't exist. That never was. And then deflect. You see, that's now been put into the matrix. And then when you find out, did it start with one? Did it start with two? Did it start with 10? Who started this? Imagine a group of human beings coming together and say, we have to have reality like this. And even though that reality is a complete falsehood of the original reality. So this group then construes the elements to begin to refashion history. They begin to impact the present and definitely affect the future. JD, I don't know, but just for me, I got to tell you what, that's some powerful fucking magic there. That is some advanced, high level stuff. And then we watch it unfold. And then channels like mine, we don't get much growth because they don't like what I have to say. Oh, they tolerate me. They've gaslighted me and everything else, taken subscribers away, but that's all right. We're the ones that will be the thought worms, the thought viruses that comes in. And if you listen to this and if you share it with someone else, the point is we're watching it unfold. Now, the problem is when you begin to deliberately manipulate reality, history, current of what it is, there's repercussions that take place from that. And that's something our species is not really adaptive to. We've gone down this road many times before. But in the digital age, it's not the same as the analog age. Reality here in the digital age is subjective. The narrative is subjective. And it doesn't take a majority. It takes actually a very small minority. And my whole point to this thing is, folks, we can do this as well. I mean, I sit here and when I'm out, particularly when I'm really working hard, my mind is constantly going. And it's amazing how it seems like we're constantly fighting the current. But actually, I believe that we shouldn't be fighting the current at all. We are the current. I don't know. I've read that small groups of humans in communities have done just that. They begin to impact reality in their own small little spheres. And then the others came in and crushed them. But you see, that game was played in an analog mind. We're dealing in a digital mind now, and that's a different mind altogether. And that's why we'll continue to come here as long as we can. We'll get into thoughts like this. I had a whole bunch of other stuff. I'll just put it off until Wednesday because tomorrow I have the ladies on, Miss Trina and Miss Jenny. But we'll be talking about it as well. Only way to fix things is live the best you can with what you got. Yeah, common sense. Don't let the sound of your own wheels make you. Yeah, open up. I'm climbing in, just take it easy, baby. And I was actually, Gilbert, I actually hitchhiked on, right there in Tucson, Arizona, right there. Yeah. That was a fucking far out trip, man. I gotta tell you what. Had more adventures on that journey. Me and a guide, I've told you this story before, just decided to hitchhike. We left Houston, Texas, heading for California. When we got into San Antonio, oh shit, man, I'll tell you what, serviceman picked us up. Uh, and he happened to have some really good pot. And so he was stoned, we were stoned, and we were supposed to stay on Interstate 10. But there's a little sign back in that day that we're 10 and 90. And that's what it said, 90 and 10. And he put us off on the wrong road. And what an adventure. Holy crap. Ay, ay, ay. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah. Abbott says life is a raging river and you're in it. If you fight it, you will drown. So just roll on your back with your feet downstream and enjoy the beautiful cliffs and views. The waterfalls are fun as well, only if you get to stop. uh, anyway, Lost in Space. Yeah, the good old days. Yeah, I look back on them and, I'm making good old days now, but, those adventures, youth had its role. I gotta tell you what, that was one wild trip. There and back. Holy crap. Hey, Susie Q, good to see you. Gargi, good to see you as well. Babylon. Steve, what's up, brother? Good to see you. But anyway. Well, folks, hope you've had fun. I've had. I enjoy this. I mean, this is good mind coitus. It's mind candy. It's to me, it's refreshing to be able to share with intelligent thought beings. But what if reality is broken? There's a question. I think it is. We're going to get into this further week about the spirit world. We're going to get into some more aspects because it's all connected. Lee says, and I love to read through the good book and to see the skinny demon. I have to read these in context. Thank you, Steve. Shirley, what's up? I do adore y'all. I mean, seriously, y'all are just the best. Got a good group here, no doubt about it. It speaks of all of us very highly. It shows just what we're made of, and I appreciate all of you. Thank you. Hello, Chris. Good to see you, darling. Mike, hello. Is the wind a spirit or just wind? It's a good question. Some believe that it is the elementals, that it is, in fact, one of the very powerful beings. I know you can call forth wind. I wonder if that is. Thank you, Rick. Great commentary. Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it. Work hard for that. No, it comes naturally. Yeah. Much love right back at you, Nina. Gaia, much love to you, darling. Nicola, good to see you. Synthetic telepathy and AI chatbots. But I'm real. I got a soul. I got a spirit. Yeah. All right. Joyce says Mother Earth updating. I love it. All right, folks. Until we see each other tomorrow, hey, keep smiling. Yeah. If you're in this reality, then live it to the best you got, right? All right, everyone. Until we see each other again, be good and be good at it. That's all I